happy that you stopped by. I am Lauren of Lauren Jean, and I'm excited for this video because there have been quite a few really good looking summery reads that I really want to get to in the summer. There's so many that I feel a little overwhelmed, but guess what? We take our reading at our own pace over here on this channel. So I don't know what this vlog is going to end up looking like. I know for sure that we are going to be reading The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. I obviously have already started it. Do you see those tabs? In case the tabs don't speak for themselves, I love this book so much so far. It's following a woman named Kelsey. I think she's an editor, like a book editor. She's a workaholic. She basically doesn't ever not work. She never takes any time for herself. But one day she's walking out of a Starbucks and a car jumps the curb and hits her. The car drives away. It was like a hit and run situation, but she almost died, and she wakes up in the hospital next to a very curmudgeonly older woman whose name is Georgina, which I love that name, by the way. This woman is Georgina Tate, who is a very famous businesswoman. She's very influential, and our main character Kelsey really looks up to her as a businesswoman. So you're following Kelsey as she's kind of having this existential crisis. That's a hard word to say, existential. Anyways, she's having a crisis of like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? Like, why am I working so hard and I'm not getting anywhere? I've kind of forgotten who I am. Like, she has just forgotten like the creative side of herself and what she loves in her core. And so I haven't gotten to this part, but the back says that Kelsey ends up wrangling Georgina into The Summer of Yes, which I love this cover. This is giving Thelma and Louise. I'm pretty sure the story is a little different than that one, but it is so fun so far. I love the sassiness and like feistiness of Georgina so much. I also feel like this is going to be more of a literary, like a women's fiction with romance sprinkled in, which I'm learning about myself. I love literary fiction. I think I knew that about myself, but it's like really clicking in my mind of like, I just like good stories. And like if there's a side plot of romance or a side plot of mystery, I'm in, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't have to just be the romance or just be whatever, you know? Anyways, I am so loving it. It's so good. This is my first Courtney Walsh, but she writes clean fiction, clean romance. I'm pretty sure she doesn't put like cussing in her books either, but so far her writing, like, this has the potential of 5-star, like, already. You know when you start a book and you just feel it in your bones? That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. Tuesday afternoon face. Okay, I had to come on here and update you because I'm over halfway. I'm only physically reading this book and I'm flying. It feels like I'm flying through it. Do you see all those tabs? I am doing some sprints on, I'm not on, but Hannah's doing sprints on over on her channel, like randomly Tuesday afternoon. I am having the best time reading this book. Courtney Walsh, who gave you the right to be so good? Like, I just feel like this is my cup of tea. It's literally hitting the spot of exactly what I wanted in a book right now. Like, all the summer feels. It's so good. There are some things that are interesting because Georgina is the older woman who is with Kelsey. And I'm not gonna say where they go, but they go to like a seaside town, which, by the way, the atmosphere is so good with that. I love that so much. I'm trying to avoid specifics, but Kelsey kind of bamboozles her into giving her the best opportunity to fix something in her life. And Georgina is so frustrating, but I love that we get her perspective because I'm able to see what's going on in her head as some things transpire, and I'm like, why won't you just soften a little bit? But it feels really real too, because I'm thinking about if I was in Georgina's spot, how would I handle these things? And I think that it would be really hard to like humble myself and apologize for certain things that have gone on. I just cannot express to you how much I love this. The romance in it. Oh my gosh. See, this is the kind of romance that I like. It's funny, but sincere, but not too heavy and not too emotional, but there are emotional things happening. It's like literary with the side of romance. That's what I need, but I need the romance to be funny, and Courtney Walsh is just, she's giving me that. Okay, last night I finished The Summer of Yes. Okay, like, can you see these? Can you see these? I love this book so much. It was so good. This was my first Courtney Walsh, and I love that she doesn't put cussing in her books. She doesn't put bedroom scenes in her books. It was just really, really good. Like, the story was so good. It was very uplifting and honestly made me think a lot about my life. And I just feel like Georgie and Kelsey, the two main characters, are going to stick with me for a long time. I feel like I also read this book at the perfect time with my mood of what book this is, like the genre, because there is a romance which I thought was so cute. I thought it was really cute, but that wasn't the center stage. It was very much more about Kelsey and Georgina, how they are living their life, and it honestly kind of felt a little bit like, and I don't fully know this, her little note at the end alluded to this, but it feels like Courtney Walsh put herself into some of these characters, just not living your life with what ifs, doing the things you want to do in your life, things you're passionate about. I did like the conversations though surrounding, like, I still have my morals. Like, I'm not just gonna go to a bar and sleep with someone, right? Like, there's boundaries here, but this story is more about looking at your passions and what you are like geared towards, if that makes sense. Like, what are things that you love to do as far as patterns of living and your career and what you do every day? Is that what you want to be doing? And I love to think about, like, what sets my soul on fire? You know, that's a question that Kelsey's mom asked her. Does this set my soul on fire? Meaning, am I really passionate about it? Or am I just doing it because I'm doing it? What am I really working towards? I think it's healthy and wise to reevaluate your trajectory in your life. Also, like, for me personally, like, taking it before the Lord and asking him, like, what do you want me to be doing? Because honestly, that's where we're going to feel the most fulfillment. And I do think that that would have been awesome to see in this book, but I don't think that Courtney Walsh wanted to make it heavy on the faith. I think she just wanted to have a really good, positive story. And I really appreciate that, actually, because I think she can reach a lot more people without super heavy faith content, if that makes sense. I just appreciate that she wrote just a positive story, and I loved it. I also really loved how the men in this book really loved, like, Jesus, like both of them, Dylan and Hayden. The way that they loved really feels like the way Jesus loves. Themes of forgiveness, redemption, family, unconditional love. I really love those themes, and I think you can see Jesus without outright it written on the page through her writing, if that makes sense. So I love this. Obviously, it's probably gonna be a favorite of the year. This was like the perfect book for me right now. So I can't wait to read more of Courtney Walsh. I do have The Happy Life of Isadora Bentley, and I also own My Phony Valentine, which I'm pretty sure Isadora Bentley is more of her literary, so I'm really excited to read that one. And then My Phony Valentine is more on her romance side, so I am very excited to read that one as well. But she just writes deeper themes with humor, and I love that. Courtney Walsh, I just feel like this was written for me. I don't know. I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. I recommend reading with your eyes because I have heard that, not that I know, but I've heard that the narrators on the audiobook aren't the greatest. So, okay, I'm gonna stop gushing about that. I think I'm going to be starting Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This has been everywhere. If you don't know about it, you probably don't watch a lot of booktube because this has been everywhere. This is a closed door romance. I'm excited to see. I've actually never read an Annabelle Monaghan book. I keep hearing that there's something about her writing. I don't really know what this is about, so I'll update you with that later. I've also heard that this is a romance, but there's a lot more deeper themes than just the romance going on, which I'm really excited about. Oh my gosh. Tomorrow, I leave for a little road trip. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be seeing Keisha and Jordan, and me and Caitlin are actually gonna be road tripping over to Little Rock, Arkansas because it's in the middle-ish. We decided to just have a little book bestie getaway. I have never met Keisha, and so I've met her, but like not in person, and so I'm just so excited. And then it's been 2 years since I've seen Jordan in person because for a summer, she like literally picked probably the worst time to live in Oklahoma because it was so blazing hot. But she lived in Oklahoma this summer, 2 summers ago. So anyways, I am so excited, but I wanted to give you a little update on Summer Romance. I don't know where my book is, so I'm packing and it's, we'll find it, but I don't know where it is right now. I think I'm like 100 pages left in the book. And I just wanted to give you an update before I just didn't give you any updates on this book because I'm like flying through it, which is saying something. I do think that there's like a simplistic nature to this author's writing, which I'm actually really, really enjoying. Just the straightforwardness of her writing style. I'll be reading and into the story and I look up and I've read like 10 pages, which for me is not common. Normally I'm very much a slow reader. So I think it's just the nature of her writing. But we're following our main character. She is a single mom. She has also lost her mom like 2 years ago, I think quite unexpectedly. She's dealing with grief of that. Grief from her marriage, or like, it doesn't feel like grief necessarily. It just feels like she's kind of numb at this point. Her ex is literally triggering me. Because he is such a bad man. She'll be like, can you watch the kids, or can you be with the kids like this day? And he's like, well, that's 24 hours with the kids. And I'm like, so it's all on the mom to be the mom? So yeah, stuff like that. I just really, really, really hate reading the parts when he's in it. So I'm hoping, I think that most of the parts with him in it are like in the past now, where I'm at in the book, but oh my gosh, like for a hot minute I was like, I don't know if I can read this book because I hate that character so much. I will say there are some things about it that are, I don't know a better way to say this other than like weirding me out. Not like to the point where I'll put the book down by any means, but with her grief with her mom, she's basically talking to herself, but it's like she's talking to her mom. And granted, I have suffered big loss in areas of grief with like mother figures more than one time. I have, and so I understand that it is a really deep, hard thing, but it's weirding me out that she's like having full-blown conversations with her mom. And I don't know if that will get like explained or she'll come around to realizing, I don't know. And then I'm like, am I just overanalyzing it too much? And maybe that is also part of it too. Right now, it's a fun time. I really like the love interest because she's a single mom. She is newly divorced, or like, I guess it's been about a year. I think it's been a year since she's been divorced. It's like she's coming out of her, not her shell, but like coming out of grief a little bit. She's like coming to float above the water, if that makes sense. So I'm really liking to see her doing that. I will say, I think this book, obviously this is not what this book is trying to do and whatever, but I think about myself. I like to put myself in people's shoes when I read books, and I just wish that she knew Jesus, because I'm like, you could have hope. You know? But that's not what this book is doing, and that's okay. It's just a story, and that's fine. I just wish that that was part of it, because honestly, I don't know how people heal outside of Jesus in like a real way. I had heard people saying that they were happy that it wasn't like the main character was like looking to a man to fix her, or everything's fine now because, you know, she has a man, which I don't think it's fully either way. Like, there are moments when I'm like, he's not gonna satisfy you either, girl. But then there's also moments of like, but it's a good thing, and feeling like you're just you in a relationship and not having to be a mom and taking care and all these things. I do think that there's something to be said there, but there are moments when I'm like, she is looking to him to fill something in her life, and I personally, that bothers me. But it's not like crazy amounts, and so I can look past it. So yeah, I don't know. Right now it's sitting at like a 4-star maybe. Like I said, I love the writing style. I feel like it's such an easy book to read. I am also really loving that it's like literary and romance. It feels like a literary fiction with romance in it, and that's what I love. Okay, that's what I love. So I'm gonna get ready to go on my trip and have such a good time. Hopefully. I am just so beyond excited. Oh my gosh. I'll try to get footage of that, but I also just want to be really present in the moments. I'm sure we'll do some book shopping, so let's do that now. We got wildflower lattes. It's rose. Yeah, it's like rose, lavender, and honey. Oh my. So good. So good. From a little local coffee shop. I don't even know if it's like local technically, but anyways, it's yummy. We're on the road. Oh my gosh.
All the colors. Lonesome dove folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love. Remember when we were getting old? Back, honeysuckle, fresh cut grass. I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen, all the colors. Summer love. Memories washed in every shade of green and all the colors. Summer love. Remember the lazy river days. sunset view, sleeping in the afternoon. No place to be and nothing to prove. That's sure something I could use. A cure for the air-conditioned blues. Good to use some too. A little bit of sunlight. In the morning, when you walk away, my heart drops to the floor. They said it would get easier, but I don't know who for. Days move faster now, I swear. I can feel them slip away. But some things last forever. The love that never fades.
So many books. It's so little. So little books.
For the young and free, but you kept every word you said, and you stayed true to me. We lean into the great beyond. There's more love yet to make. 'Cause some things last forever, but love that never fades. He left her slowly as his mind lost more every day.
Believe it. Hold on to that feeling. Yeah. We actually sounded like we were. Welcome to Bookclub Glee. Oh my. Da 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 da.
Quietly she walked beside and tended in her way. Now the bed he built for two is cold, but her memories have stayed. Because some things last forever, the love that never fades. Dishes and tears, I'm standing here. I know it sounds cliche. Covers me today. In between the bliss and underneath the ache. In the tenderness, a single thread remains. It's deeper than a sentiment. It's a fierce and holy rage. Some things last forever, but love that never fades. Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on that open shore. No saddle on his back. I had never felt so free before. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. There I lay beneath the canopy on the gilded forest path, when an ecstasy came over me.
Lauren, it was made for you.
I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. How could I hold it? I couldn't hold it back. From our head to toes, we are standing in the overflow. And there's more I know when we're standing in the overflow.
Have you cried?
I cried, but over that book.
You're crying. You're crying.
And okay, get this. I'm over here reading this one, but she's reading the book that I finished like a few
Weeping.
days ago. So she starts crying over her book. So then I'm crying over that book because I'm remembering that book. And we're living our best
We're
lives.
having all the tears.
We're living our best reader lives over here. I'm like giggling at this book while crying simultaneously at your book. What does that make? That makes sense. Oh my god. Bookish readers.
Oh, my actual tears running down my face. Oh my gosh.
Is it tracking for a 5-star?
Yeah, I didn't expect this. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't expect it. I don't
I
know.
didn't give it 5, but it's darn close.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Book club!
We were swimming with the silver moon, dancing like a maniac. Then we raced each other to the room. All that I could do was laugh. All that I could hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back.
I made it back and it was so fun. It was such a good time. Like I said, I had never met Keisha before in person. It was such an amazing gift to get to do that, to get to see Jordan, and to get to road trip across the country with my bestie, Caitlin. It was just a good time. So many good conversations. We were able to like pray over each other and book shop together, eat dinner together. Everything was just so perfect. It flew by so quickly, but I just had the best time. Wanted to give you a final update on Summer Romance. I don't have the book because I gave it to Caitlin to read. As you saw, I was laughing at myself because one night we were going to do like a book, as you saw, like the book discussion on the Summer of Yes, and Jordan hadn't finished the entire book yet, and so she's like, I have like 10 pages left, and I had about the same amount left in Summer Romance. So Caitlin and Keisha so graciously prepared the book club like charcuterie board and everything, and then me and Jordan just sat and read, and your girl lost it. As you saw, it took me by such surprise. I was like tearing up, which I figured I probably would, but then something happens at the end with a side character, but it hit me. It just hit. It just hit me in my like, oh, this is like a sore spot in my heart, but like in a good way, if that makes sense. And then I have to tell you this. So there's a character who is older, and if you don't, it's not going to spoil anything in the book, like the overall story. So if you want no spoilers at all, like you don't want to know anything about what's going on in this book, head to this little point in the video. But if you don't mind like some spoilery things for a side character, this is what I'm going to tell you. There's an older woman who is her neighbor. Our main character's neighbor. She takes care of her every day. She goes and says hi. She cooks her eggs. And I really like this side character. She's so sassy and hilarious, and the way she texts is just really cute. She is dying. That whole part is really sad. She ends up coming to the end of her life, and the main character goes over there, and that part is the part that I was like losing it, because not only was that sad, because like that felt like that honestly, it reminded me a lot of my Mama Ann, my mom's mom. I've also lost my dad's mom, and very close with both of them, but I don't remember if it was Keisha or someone was like, oh my gosh, these grapes are really good. Like the grapes that we were gonna have for our little book club time. They're the cotton candy grapes. And I was like, I don't think I've ever had them. So she just brought them to me. Okay, this was at the moment that I was crying, reading this scene at the end of this woman's life, okay? The flavor of these grapes brought me back to my Mama Ann's house. And I guess, like, you know how songs and smells and tastes, they bring you back to memories. Taste, a lot of times, if you haven't tasted something but you ate it all the time back when your baby was little or something like that, when you taste it, it brings you back to that time of life. Well, that's what happened to me with this grape. And it was like I was already thinking of my Mama Ann, then I eat this grape, and I was like, I think my Mama Ann had this type of grape all the time, because I just don't think I've had it since her house, it was just a wild moment. It kind of felt like a little God wink in a way. There's one line at the end talking about being a daughter. Yeah, I found it. It says how complicated it is to be a daughter and a person. I was like, yes. Another quote that I loved, it says, but I jumped into this anyway. The way you go ahead and get the dog, even though you know it's going to die. You hide from the reality of it because you really want a dog. I really wanted to believe this was going to last more than a few weeks. Oh my gosh, Jordan was like, this is a 5 stars, right? Because of your reaction is so strong. And I was like, I think it has to be. And that took me by surprise, because I had been reading it, I was really enjoying it, and it felt like a 4-star, but the end, the whole like getting the dog, just get the dog anyways. You won't know what I'm talking about unless you've read this book, but oh my gosh. And then a concern I had with like how she had been dealing with her grief did get wrapped up in the end, and I really loved reading the author's notes surrounding this. It feels like this is her grief book, and in dealing with losing her mom, the author's mom. I just loved it. I loved it a lot. And by the way, this is a closed door romance. And then also there's only a little bit of language. It's not like a ton, and I can't even remember them, you know, but I do know there were a few sprinkled throughout, but it was never like, ugh, like I wish they would stop cussing. So anyways, just wanted to let you know in case you do care about that kind of content. It was so good. This vlog was amazing. 2 5-star reads. Who would have thought? And I got to see my long distance bookish besties, and I'm so thankful that I did. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I pray that the joy of the Lord comes to you today, that you feel his presence, and that you feel true peace and joy today. In Jesus' name. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to hit the subscribe button and stick around, I would love that. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!